Hello, it's me again with yet another vintage alternative style. I am doing a 1950s page boy with a wig. This can be used as a protective style if you have natural hair or if you want to rock a style um, that is conducive for the heat. Okay, so if you just stay tuned and pay attention, you'll learn how to do so. So here we go. Okay, here we go. So this wig that I purchased was from the beauty supply store. It's half synthetic, human mixed with a deep part. Now, it was the middle part, but what I'm showing you now is that I'm going to switch it to one side to kind of make it asymmetrical. When you do the style, however, it is going to look like it is just all one on one plane, basically. And what I'm going to do right now is part the wig in 4 different spots. And I'm going to tell you why. So the first spot that I'm doing right now is going to be my bang. And that's one of the most important parts. So that's when you see the swoop that was definitely very famous during this era. That kind of just signifies like, oh, this is a vintage style she's trying to pull off. She's serving us Rita Hayworth, she's serving us Marilyn, she's serving us Dorothy. You know, that signifies that just initially when someone looks at you. So what I'm doing, that's going to be the biggest part because again, that's one of the most important parts. I am just securing it so when I curl the rest, it just won't be in my face. And past that point of securing that, I'm going to make 2 more sections, kind of parting it from that middle section to about behind my ear. And the reason why I did it that way, just so it can be a little bit easier to curl the whole thing. Okay, so all the sections are curled under, including the ones on the side, and we're going to start with that bang that I told you guys were so important, so essential to this style. Right now, what I'm doing is brushing down my baby hair for the end result of this style, just to make it look a little bit more natural. Okay. So I'm parting off. You're basically doing the same thing for the bang, but I just want to stress how important it is because when we style it, it just sets the whole thing off. Okay, so it's basically again just curling under a little bit bigger sections with that one, and you're just gonna do the same thing. You're gonna go ahead and spray it with your hairspray and comb it through, and then curl it under. Using a comb that's that thin is very important as well because it gives the even distribution of the hairspray. Again, do not talk about my old faithful. She is helping y'all with this look, okay? So don't you dare. So we're just curling. And if you don't know how to curl with a flat iron, it's basically the exact same thing as what you would do with a barreled curling iron, in my opinion. You just wrap it around the flat iron and just pull it out, basically, making sure that you get every section while just making the curl motion. It's pretty easy. Don't be discouraged if you don't get it the first time around. Try it again because, like I said, it's pretty much the exact same thing. And I'm just letting it loose, letting it fall. And again, I did the pins for y'all because I love y'all and I want y'all to succeed with this look, because anybody can do it. Clearly, this is my first time doing it, and I love the way it turned out. So yeah, we're going to proceed to do the rest of the bang. And you see, I'm using as much hairspray as possible in between sections just to make sure I get that extra hold that I want. Yeah, so after I curl my hair, I like to beat my face. You know, it's clearly the next step of the process. So that's what I did while I wait for my curls to cool off. What I'm doing now is taking all my pins out of my curls and I'm going to run my fingers through everything. Now it's gonna be a little bit stiff because you use all that hairspray, but you'll be alright. You know what I mean? Just be gentle with it initially, just so you can see and get a feel of what your hair is going to end up looking like after you brush it out and mold it and things like that. So I sectioned out again. That bang is super essential. So I kind of just sectioned that out, put a duckbill clip on it, and I'm just going through gently with my hand, combing everything out. Okay, so after I have went through with my hand, what I'm going to do now is take that rat tail comb and envision how my hair is going to look like if I had helmet hair. You know how like you take off a helmet and the top is flat, but the bottom is kind of just doing whatever the fuck it wants to do? That's what I'm going to follow for brushing this down. I'm going to use my helmet hair technique and kind of just mold it, the top portion more so, with my rat tail comb. The reason why I'm using the wig brush now is because I'm going to be honest with y'all. Again, this is my first time doing this style. So I'm really just kind of trying to figure it out. Now, as you see, the only portions of hair that I'm paying attention to is like that top row, not necessarily the bottom row of curls, just kind of the top. Again, following the helmet hair technique. And I'm just molding the curls how I want them to go. And again, this is my first time. So I'm not sure how I want it to look, but I know what I'm envisioning in my mind. And I'm just going to mold the curls to my every will. Okay, so I have the front portion of my wig kind of helmet haired, and I have hairsprayed it and I'm blow drying it down, just so I can maintain what I'm trying to do. It's really important as you go through and get your desired look that you are constantly hairspraying it and blow drying it kind of on the highest heat but the lowest blow, because you don't want to blow the style out completely. So you're just really being patient with these curls and kind of just molding them to your desired look. It's important to stay on top with the top row of curls at this moment, because that bottom row of curls is going to give you your volume. So again, just following that helmet hair technique all around. Just following it all around. Now what I'm doing is taking that duckbill and putting it so my hair can kind of be like a fit and flare. That's the only way I can describe it. Like, again, that bottom portion is what's going to be the flare. And it's important to show that. I mean, the only way that you can show that is if the top is fit. And you do that with the duckbills as you go along. And you put them just kind of like all across the bottom of that fit and flare. And you hairspray it until there ain't no hairspray left, okay? So that kind of just demonstrates what I'm referring to in the back. It's not perfect, but if you hairspray it, it'll be good. Yes, okay, so what we have left out is the side portion and my bang. Now, the reason why I left that side portion out is because I want that to be styled opposite of my bang. And what I'm doing right now, I just hairspray it like I told you guys and just blow dry it. Just hairspray, blow dry, hairspray. That's literally what this style is, and molding as well. Okay, so now I'm taking my rat tail comb and I'm just going to continue the molding process after I pin that piece. Like, that piece did not want to stay up, y'all. Like, it was so disrespectful, this whole process. What I'm doing now is kind of just, like, girl, come on. You see what I'm saying? Like, she was so petty this whole, like, girl. I was so frustrated with her. So after I get her in line, I am just continuing the molding process. Again, I go back and forth from the rat tail comb to the wig comb, basically brushing those curls towards my face and under, so we can just get that flare look like I was talking about. Making sure that I'm not too rough with it, but just delicate enough to mold it how I want to. Okay. Do not let your curls bully you. You can mold them however you want. Okay. And they will follow suit. Just don't be too rough with them. Okay. So, after I get that desired look, I am just going to comb it, kind of all throughout. See, that piece of hair really wanted to square up with your girl. Like, so disrespectful. I'm going through all throughout the back and kind of just making sure that the flyaways that might be on top are a little bit more pristine like I want them. That flat piece, how it is going to be tucked under. And just following that fit and flare look that I told you guys about. And again, just going back and forth between the rat tail comb and the wig brush to create my desired look. I have it in my hand. And I'm going to bend it and pin it and roll it. Okay, bend it, pin it, roll it. Bend it, pin it, roll it. So this is to make the faux pin curl. And I'm going to take another bobby pin and pin it. Perfect. Okay, so after I have it pinned or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and work on that bang that I told y'all was super important. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and take that wig brush and brush it out. Brush it out. Brush it out. But still be delicate. Now, don't get crazy. Depending on, again, what type of wig that you use, you might have to be a little bit more delicate than others. But for this one, like I said, it was a synthetic, so it's good. Okay. I'm back combing this because I want my bang to stand up. And really, when I think about it, it really didn't do too much for your girl, but it did a little something. And really, the hairspray did the majority of the work, but it is what it is. So what I'm doing now is, again, just molding it how I want to. Now I want my curls to kind of swoop down towards my face and around. So that's the direction that I am brushing it in. And you see it's already starting to form that little swoop and dupe, okay? Yes. Now, this is a lace front, ladies, okay? So, if you have never worn a lace front before, listen, you got to finagle that thing, okay? And that's why I was brushing out my natural hair at the very beginning, and I'm going to continue to do so now, is to make it look as natural as possible. There's some other tips and tricks that you can do with that, and I might make another video on it. But yeah, it's very important that it looks as natural as possible. Okay, so after I got my bang and my desired look, I'm going to take out my duckbill clips, and that shape should still remain if you use enough hairspray and blow dried it enough. Now, for me personally, I wanted it to be a deep fit and flare, but it was kind of just a deep fit and flare on the sides. And the reason why I believe that was so is because this wig was shorter in the back than it was on the side. So that only makes sense. So what I'm doing right now is I'm maintaining that helmet hair, and I'm kind of just combing from the top down just to keep that shape. And like I told you guys, I decided to take that pin curl out just because, I just felt like pinning it on the side for your girl was going to look better. And it did, okay? So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just tucking it behind my ear, and I'm going to pin it with a bobby pin. And this is also a really cute look that you could add an accessory with. I personally was just trying to keep it simple and sleek, just so you guys can see kind of what I was going for. So I did not use accessories this time, okay? Yes. That's how you feel when you do this look, okay? That's how you should feel every day. Let me just say that. But I was really feeling this look. I was really happy with how it turned out. And I was pretty proud of myself because, again, this is my first time doing this. And no, I'm not an expert. But I wanted to show you guys that if you got confidence and you envision a look, you can have that. You know what I mean? Just make it work.